Her tits hung freely like pomegranates. Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back to my channel and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. So for this week's video, I'm gonna sit down and have a chat with you because it's nice to have a chat sometimes. And basically I'm going to tell you what I've been up to in my free time since I quit my job. So, as you know, or you don't know, I quit my job recently, not because I wanted to quit my job. I actually found a new job, but there has been a few delays in starting that, so I am hopefully starting that quite soon. It should be super fun and it's in hospitality, which is what I've wanted to do for a long time. But because I quit my job, I've had so much free time on my hands, like I've done... Well, yeah, I've just had so much time and I just not know what to do with it. So I was out the other day and someone mentioned to me, have you heard of My Dad Wrote a Porno? And I was like, no, I don't think I have heard of My Dad Wrote a Porno. So, when I got home, I had a look and I found My Dad Wrote a Porno. So basically, it's a podcast which is available on the iTunes store. And it's about... Well, it's about someone's dad writing porno. So this guy called Jamie, his two friends Alice and James sit down each week and they go through the book chapter by chapter, reading another chapter a week and really analysing it, you know, going into depths of what things mean or don't mean. And it is very, very confusing because Rocky Flintstone, who wrote the book, was probably drunk when he wrote it because nothing makes sense. There's no consistency with the words, the characters, the concepts. It's just all a bit over the place, which normally, well, I mean, I hate reading books, so this is actually an exciting book. It's short, it's only 69 pages long. It's full of characters, sex, some good sex in there, and some unrealistic things as well. So it really caught my attention. I listened to book one. So the book is 419 minutes long, or in English terms, 6.9, so basically 7 hours. So in the last week I have spent 7 hours of my time listening to this thing. And I thought, this is a genius idea. Why don't I find two friends, sit down and basically plagiarise their idea? And then I thought, no, I can't really do that because they'll probably sue me and I don't have any money to pay. So it's probably just better that I just sit down by myself, not read you the book, but just talk about it. I bought the book off of Amazon, which was $4.99 here in Australia. I think it's about £2 in the UK or something like that. But it's worth the buy, just simply so that you can read along with the guys, really analyse it, the characters. Now, there's a few things in the book which I love. So the first one is chapter 3. Now, the guys don't rate this chapter very heavily, but I actually really enjoyed the chapter. I felt like I learnt more about Belinda, more about Giselle, and also more about Donna. Oh, sorry, Bella. Yeah, Rocky Flintstone decided to rename one of his characters in this chapter from Bella to Donna. She did eventually get her own name back, but there was a bit of confusion there. But that was quite funny. But it's a real admin chapter. You learn more about the characters. You meet the regional sales managers as well. There's lots and lots in that chapter, so don't miss that chapter. It might be boring to read, but it's worth the listen on the podcast. Now, there's a few things in the book that just cracked me up. One of them being, and I have to, you know, I've written this down, so let me just, not that I need to write it down, but her tits hung freely like pomegranates. Do pomegranates hung freely? Well, actually, Alice discovered in around chapter 7 that they do actually hang, so technically Rocky was actually correct. But that line just, it made me laugh and loll and crack up, and I think the book would be so boring if it wasn't for them analysing it. The way they basically shred it to pieces and go, that's not right, that's good. Should that happen there? You know, there's a big black dildo, which is great. I mean, who doesn't love a dildo? I mean, yeah. But, no, you get really good character development, sort of. You kind of get to know a bit more about things, and yeah, there's just no order. So for it, I'll go through the chapters, just because I feel like the chapter names are quite good. They kind of tell you something about it. So we will start with chapter 1. So we start off the book with the job interview. So Belinda goes in, she gets interviewed by Tony and someone else in the room. She basically ends up taking off all of her clothes, having sex, and being offered the job. Then we get to chapter 2. So chapter 2 is the leather room. So Tony tells Belinda to go into the leather room. Giselle, who is Tony's assistant and kind of girlfriend stroke lover, we're not really sure what she is, goes in there with Belinda. There's nothing in the room but leather from floor to ceiling, a small fridge. So they have a drink and then they start making out, which is great fun. I love a little bit of lesbian love, you know, it's all good. Like, you know, getting the LGBT in there, thumbs up Rocky. We then get to learn about the regional sales managers in chapter 3, and we get to learn about them. And then in chapter 4 we go from almost nothing to so much. So there's a maze. So through chapters, chapters 4, 5 and 6 and 7 as well, kind of. Belinda's trapped in a maze and basically she has sex with the clients that are coming up, organises meetings with them for the future, blah blah blah. We then have a tombola where 3 girls go up for random sex. Conveniently, it's Giselle, Belinda, and Bella stroke Donna. They all get auctioned, like it's random, but it's them 3 that are randomised. They all go off, so we follow Belinda obviously. She goes to the Duchess, has some crazy sex with her after being locked up in a horse box. That basically is that. What happens after that? We go back to the pub, so Belinda goes back and she goes back to Peter Rouse. So Peter Rouse is one of the clients. So he has some sex with her. They spend a couple of hours together. He then has to go back to his wife, but that's fine because they're going to book some time in the future for them to have sex and, you know, do some business. Then we go to Sunday night at 11:55. So this is basically, there's a night receptionist guy and we don't know what his name is. So basically he comes into the room at like 3 in the morning, brings Belinda some more wine and turkey sandwiches, bit random. Once that's happened, they then have sex, and we don't know what this guy's name is. And then in the final chapter, Rocky just throws in there, oh, his name was Sam. So we learn out his name, and he's then again serving breakfast because apparently he doesn't have a home to go to or a bed to sleep in. He just works there all the time. And that finally takes us back to the Duchess. She comes clean. She basically, you know, Belinda goes back to her, fixes her all up. That's that. They then clean up. They get back to and Belinda's back in the office for about 9:30 to start the next week of work before we don't know what happens because she's there ready to go and meet all the clients that she made meetings for. So hopefully in book 2, I'm hoping that she gets to go to Belgium, where else? I can't remember where else, but she's basically going to go travelling across the world. America's in there to basically meet the clients, have some sex, and a good time. Now, I think it would be awesome as well if Rocky could introduce some gay characters. I know we've had the lesbian, you know, Belinda, Giselle in the leather room, but it would be awesome if there was like maybe a Peter Rouse and Tony getting it on, or, you know, something a bit quirky. And yeah, I mean, maybe he doesn't have that mindset because he does have a wife, but you know, I'm just throwing it out there. So, yes, that's my analysis of this. I'm probably now going to go and spend the next 10 hours or so listening to Season 2, just to catch up, so I'm all there ready for when Season 3 starts quite soon. But I will leave you links to the podcast, the book down below. If you did enjoy my analysis of this, please give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down there, and you can hit the subscribe button just over there. I'll pop a link to last week's video there, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!